Hello and welcome to our third webinar on Work and Communicate in Leisure and Health. In this session we will discuss the importance of facilitating meetings. We began this topic back in the workshop, and in the workshop what would have been covered included how to facilitate a meeting, which also included putting together a meeting agenda, communicating to stakeholders and deciding on meeting objectives. But meetings just doesn't finish there. We're now going to discuss communication strategies to encourage all members of the meeting to participate, exploring all relevant issues, and ensuring specific communication needs are addressed. We discussed the importance of organisations having policies and procedures back in webinar 1. Here you will see a sample meeting policy and procedure. Take a moment now to familiarise yourself with this policy and procedure and its layout. We are now going to look at the benefits of holding regular staff meetings. From your experience at attending staff meetings, what have the benefits been to yourself or to your work colleagues? Did the meetings include the following? Benefits: that all team members received the same information about what was going on within the workplace. Were problems freely discussed? Were all staff able to provide feedback? Was time made available to plan together and distribute tasks? Were creative ideas generated that could be tested out? And were all team members given the opportunity to contribute to decision making? Is that kind of how the meetings have run within your workplace? That's ideal if those points can be addressed. Let's now look at strategies that encourage all members to participate in meetings. Not all members of the group will be willing to participate in discussions. This needs to be recognised by the person chairing the meeting, and they need to develop the appropriate strategies to encourage participation from all members. People who are quiet or reluctant to participate in group discussions often have important information to contribute, and thus they should be encouraged to share their ideas. The chairperson of the meeting may gain valuable information from members by making positive comments about the person's contribution, by using paraphrasing and summarising to reinforce their points, by providing verbal recognition of the good points that they've raised, by maintaining eye contact with the person when they're speaking, indicating a genuine interest, and by nodding and smiling approvingly when they are speaking. There are many other ways that the chairperson of the meeting can draw group members into the discussion. They can do this by asking questions such as, does anyone else have anything to say? Or, how does everyone feel about that? This style of questioning indicates that the chairperson is open to hearing points of view from all members. They can also ask all members to write down suggestions. This works especially well when people don't feel comfortable speaking up in front of a large group at a meeting. And they can limit repeated contact with the more dominant and the more verbal members of the group. We are now going to talk about implementing strategies to ensure the specific communication needs of individuals within the meeting are identified and that these needs are then addressed. To do this, the chairperson of the meeting needs to consider any communication barriers that might be experienced by people at the meeting, for example, the clients, their representatives and the staff. And then these communication issues need to be addressed. Group members may experience communication difficulties. These can include things such as hearing difficulties, visual impairments, lack of understanding the information that's being presented at the meeting. For example, if the individual is unable to follow what's been said, they will most likely not give any feedback or not talk up at the meeting. Linguistic barriers, differing cultural backgrounds, difficulties in expressing their points of view, the lack of confidence or self-esteem, and therefore the individual doesn't speak up or say anything during the meeting. The chairperson should do their best to enhance the opportunity for all group members to actively participate in discussions during the meeting. Let's now look at some strategies that might be used to ensure the communication needs of the whole group are met. We need to present information in a way that's easily understood and avoiding the use of any kind of technical language that other people might not understand, such as medical jargon. We need to present the information in a way that accommodates for all those visual impairments. For example, making sure that all parties can see the information you're showing if a PowerPoint presentation is being used. If someone's unable to see, maybe adjust their seating arrangements by moving them further forward. Speak clearly and face the individuals when you're speaking to them. Use concise and simple language wherever possible. Observe the body language of the other members of the meeting. Do they look bored or are they confused? If so, then you may need to modify your approach. Allow the opportunity for all members to ask questions. This enables you to provide clarification about any issues and make sure that things have been clearly understood. Make sure that all members of the group have the opportunity to actively participate in the discussion. Use paraphrasing to reinforce the clarity of the ideas that are being presented. Encourage the members of the group who are shy or withdrawn to participate by making eye contact with them and praising their efforts. Respect the input of all members. And recognise that people from different cultural backgrounds may have differing opinions or views. Respect their point of view and treat their ideas with the same respect that you will treat anyone else's. When the chairperson implements strategies to ensure that communication needs of all the group members are met, they are more likely to be successful in achieving a positive outcome of the meeting. At the conclusion of the meeting, the date of the next meeting is usually announced. This allows people time to consider if they're able to attend the next meeting. After this, the meeting minutes are typed and then they're distributed for the staff and or the residents and their representatives to read. Often within an aged care context, the meeting minutes are displayed on notice boards around the aged care facility, for example, in the staff room and in the common areas for residents and their families to read. In some cases, the meeting minutes are then emailed out to the staff and or residents and representatives to ensure that everyone is aware of the outcomes of the meeting. We are now going to complete this webinar today with a quiz on some commonly used terms in the leisure and health industry. What you need to do is you need to read the term that is on the left-hand side of the screen and match it with an answer that's on the right-hand side of the screen. Pause the webinar now to allow yourself sufficient time to match the answers. For the first part of the quiz, we're going to look at the following terms and we'll match the answers as we go. Culturally and linguistically diverse programs. This matches to the definition: programs designed to deliver support as well as provide awareness, knowledge and skills to individuals from non-English speaking countries, including Indigenous Australians. The next term is dignity of risk. This matches to the definition: the freedom to make mistakes, to make choices for ourselves, even if others, such as caregivers, parents, etc., think that our choice could cause a problem, risk or error. The third term is stereotypical attitudes. This matches to is the act of treating a person differently, negatively or positively, because of that person's race, class, sexual orientation or gender, or any other group to which that person belongs, rather than assessing the individual's needs. And the final term for part one of this quiz is spirituality. This is a sense of connection to something bigger than oneself, such as, it could include things such as religion, prayer groups, yoga, meditation, and quiet reflection. We are now going to complete the second part of the quiz. follows the same process. Read the term on the left-hand side of the screen and match it with an answer on the right-hand side of the screen. Pause the webinar now to allow yourself sufficient time to match the answers, and then unpause the webinar and I'll read through the answers with you. The first term is empowerment. The definition to that is supporting a care recipient to live independently, either through a mutually devised program or a care plan. The second term is disability discrimination. This is when a person with a disability is treated less favourably than a person without the disability in the same or similar circumstances. The third term is disempowerment. This is to contribute to or make a person feel less powerful or confident. The final term is duty of care. This is a legal requirement that everyone in the workplace has a responsibility to take all the practical and reasonable steps to ensure that they protect the health and safety of anyone that is on the premises. How did you all go? Did anyone get 8 out of 8 for that? So I'd like to thank you all for your participation in this webinar. Continue now by watching a video on communication. Whilst you're watching this video, draw the 4 communication dots. They are purple, red, yellow and blue, and record inside these dots the communication preferences for each colour. After the video, continue by completing the quiz that will relate directly to the video and the dots that you've just watched. Thank you for your time and good luck completing your partial assessment.